In a world where Peter Parker is a giant-ass spider, Jake Gyllenhaal is a mysterious man who has duplicates of himself and is also a supervillain. One man, Green Grobby, went back to formula and is ready to take all the naysayers to Pound Town. Hello and welcome to You've Spun Your Last Web, Spider-Man. Had you not been so selfish, your little girlfriend's death would have been quick and painless. But now that you've really pissed me off, I'm gonna finish her off nice and slow. MJ and we're gonna have a hell of a time. Your one-stop shop for all things Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. In regards to last episode, half of it was about Billy Zane's The Phantom, so you should just listen to it because of that. But then the second half,
Casey.
Yeah, the second half was all about Spider-Man, so you know you're gonna enjoy it. Yes, I am Zane, is the other one that is talking.
And I'm Casey.
Thank you so much.
So how you doing?
I'm doing A-okay minus the hectic schedule. How are you doing? Where you gotta be?
Fine. I'm gonna be at a wedding tonight, but I did want to tell you that intro quote was very good.
Thank you.
Can you remind the audience who said that long meandering train of thought?
That was Green Grobby that threw that sweet piece of ass our way.
Oh, I could tell because I was sweating halfway through. It was just it was a really good quote.
It's very powerful, but it's also a way to connect. You know, it's just a way to come back down to earth and really relate to the students.
He's also very lusty.
Yeah, he really is. I think that's not intentional. I think he just is.
I think that's just a Willem Dafoe trademark that he's always egging. He's always egging for it.
It's like how we said with Billy Zane, when all the women come on to him, it's not because it's written into the script, it's just because it's Billy Zane. It's like the same way with Green Grobby.
He's a magnetic force, Billy Zane, with or without hair, mind you.
Yeah.
And I think that's easily the same with Willem Dafoe. Like, dear Lord. You know what I just realized?
What?
7 episodes in, I say dear Lord a lot.
Oh, well, you know what? It's polite.
Just know that whenever I say dear Lord, I always mean it with an E tacked onto the end, so I'm actually regarding to the New Zealand pop princess.
Okay, good.
Yeah, whom I love.
Well,
so last night you texted me something regarding the casting choice of our favorite Peter Parker.
Yes, I did.
Accent. Remind me who was also supposed to be taking that role?
I was just watching a wonderful documentary on a wonderful actor, Human Boy, and I saw a man, he read the script and he said, "This makes no sense, I could never be Peter Parker." And that man was Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger! Late, great Heath Ledger.
Turned down the opportunity to be Peter Parker. Which is,
man.
Yeah, I get why, because after watching that whole thing, he was not, I don't get why you wouldn't want to be Peter Parker.
Absolutely.
I get why he wouldn't, because he lived like the America's Heartthrob string of films out, and he didn't...
A Knight's Tale being the prominent one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, after 10 Things I Hate About You, he didn't want to do any, like, he never wanted to do the same film twice. So there's even a part where they have him narrating like the whole film, literally up to like the week he dies, and it's horrifying how they did that. It's beautiful and horrifying. Because it's like after 10 Things I Hate About You, he was like, I never wanted to do the same thing twice, which is why he did The Knight's Tale, and then he eventually did Brokeback Mountain and the Joker, and it's just very, very different type of characters. And he was like, Hollywood hates hearing somebody that's like got a pretty face for them saying no, so I had a really fun time saying no to them. But he's literally just talking about everything, like how the documentary is, and it's amazing but scary. Like, they talk about when he was with Michelle Williams, and he'll be talking about when he's with Michelle Williams, and then every film they bring up, he's talking about that as if it's in the same interview. And they get to his final film, which is I can never remember the whole thing. It's like Dr. Parnassus Imaginarium. It's like a very fun, fancy name. And I'm pretty sure he only survived like half of the filming, and then they had to.
That's why they brought in like several different actors for like
Colin Farrell, Brad Pitt, and Johnny Depp, if I'm not mistaken. I know Colin Farrell and Johnny Depp, and it might be Brad Pitt. But yeah, they showed footage of him like getting into that role, and then they played this interview thing of him saying like, so now, I'm filming Dr. Parnassus, and then in 3 weeks I'll probably drop dead.
Oof.
It was terrifying.
Yikes,
to hear him say that, because then he did.
And then he did. Yeah, that's not great. Imagine if he did take on. Well, first of all, it's good that he didn't take the role of Spider-Man, because then, you know, the Matrix wouldn't have taken from Spider-Man 1, and also Michelangelo wouldn't have taken his name from Peter Parker, because the whole movie would have been different if we had a different actor. But
it just would have been some movie.
So at that time, in 2001, maybe 2000, they were filming the first Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. There had been other Spider-Men in terms of the animated films.
Right.
Or, not films, but animated series. And then there was Peter, played beautifully by Tobey. And then after that, it was like everyone was shit. So I would like to say that Tobey was the first good Spider-Man. And Heath Ledger was the first... Oh, I can't say he was the first good Joker, because the guy from the Batman series.
You're thinking Jack Nicholson?
And also Jack Nicholson was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was.
But I was gonna say Mark Hamill's Joker.
Mark Hamill's Joker is great.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, Heath Ledger was great. He was the peak, much like Tobey Maguire was the peak of Spider-Man, and then every Spider-Man afterwards has been down. But what's funny about Heath Ledger being the best Joker is the one that directly followed him, which was arguably not only the worst Joker, but like one of the worst performances in recent years.
Yeah,
with,
that was
Mr. Leto playing the damaged Joker, because we couldn't figure that out on our own.
Yeah,
oh man,
there was such a problem with the way that the Joker continued, and that was like, if you look at Jack Nicholson's Joker, if you hear Mark Hamill's Joker and everything, I mean, everyone was afraid of how Heath was gonna do it, because they were like, how do you top Jack Nicholson? How do you like do anything other than a poor rendition of their Joker? And then he made something that had not been done before. And the problem following that is Jared Leto said, I'm gonna now copy that. It wasn't, he didn't make something original. He found Heath's voice in his own voice. Yeah. And then he was like, but I'll dress a little differently and try and make him look a little different. But that's not right. Also, the laugh sucked.
The laugh sucked. Everything about his performance sucked. But what's funny about that is that I would like to think that Jared Leto was the reason that the costuming was so terrible for that. It wasn't the costume designer. It wasn't the character designer who was I'm gonna put a bunch of garish fucking tattoos on this dude's body.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the word damaged across his forehead, because that's not fucking cringy at all. But that was all just Jared Leto being like, David Ayer, I've been method with this character for a while now. I really gotta do what I gotta do. That's his voice, I guess, when he's the Joker. I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Boy, that makes it so much fucking worse. Because like I've said it once and I'll say it again. Jared Leto is a not good actor. He was fine in Dallas Buyers Club.
Have you seen Mr. Nobody?
I have seen Mr. Nobody.
Oh.
And I do not remember Mr. Nobody.
So
I think that's an issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fancy. Haven't you done well?
Haven't you done well? Also, this is outside of the podcast. This is real life stuff.
What?
A friend just texted me saying she's on her way to get me, so I might have to actually stop recording now. So that's fucking stupid, because she said she was going to be at my house at 4:15.
You good. How far away is this person?
I asked for an ETA. She read it and did not respond, so that's excellent.
Okay. All right. Keep us posted. Keep the entire podcast posted. I'll just make this an unedited episode so that it's short and sweet and to the point. People will know exactly why it's short.
I'm going to directly call you out, Olivia. Fuck you.
Oh,
Right,
I really, there was such a long pause that when you said you're going to call her out and you just said her name and then nothing else, I thought you were literally just calling her out.
I'm gonna call you out, alright? Hey!
Alright, here.
Okay.
Here, we can work off of this juicy lick for a little bit and then cut it off when you need to. The idea of creating our multiverses within Raimi's universe of what ifs, I thought of this the other day, and it was, now Spider-Man becomes what he is because Peter Parker is at basically a spider factory, and a spider
factory in New York,
and somehow the most dangerous of all of those spiders got out because they didn't keep an eye on it. And it comes down from the ceiling and it bites Peter Parker on his little wrist, and
his small Peter Parker wrist.
It was a tiny Peter wrist until he became Big Boy Peter wrist. And then he gets the spider powers, and the spider powers he happens to get, which, if you know anything about spiders, it's, you know that they're really strong, that they can see without glasses.
They can see without glasses.
And that they can shoot webs. Those are the three that we know. My theory is, how different would Sam Raimi's universe be if he had acquired other Spider-Man traits instead of those traits? What if he got 8 legs? What if he got what if he got more eyes?
I think that if we were working off of a screenplay like that, I would require that David Cronenberg come in and work with that, because that would be friggin' awesome body horror shit. Like, if you like, so cute. Obviously, we're keeping Toby because he's adorable.
Yeah.
He wakes up the next morning, not with, a little bit more bulk on his body, but with 8 fucking terrifying hairy spider legs poking out of his body.
What if he just looked like a spider?
Oh god, it's like Kafka's Metamorphosis, but rather than turning into a beetle or whatever, he turns into a terrifying spider.
Oh my god. But what if like nobody noticed? Like, how weird would that be? Like, he comes downstairs, Aunt May and Big Ben are sitting there, and he comes down the stairs and he's this giant 8-legged arachnid, and they just look at him and they're just like, "Hey, Pete.
Hey, Michelangelo.
Hey, don't finish those don't finish painting that kitchen without me."
He has his pincers like clacking like.
Yeah, no, he's got he's got the pincers. Oh, beautiful. Then when he's at school, like during the lunch scene, he's just actually eating flies. It's just like.
He took some nerdy kid with glasses, stung him like Shelob did at the end of Lord of the Rings, and then rolled him up in his web and just started sucking his nutrients out of his body.
Oh my god!
I think the idea that I'm coming up with is really, really scary, and I don't think it fits with the whole Spider-Man vibe.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I want to throw in another theory in the middle of this one, because if we're gonna spice up Peter's powers right now, then I want to spice up another boy's powers really quickly.
Okay, please.
You remember that all being, quote, back to formula?
Back to formula. Yes.
What if they went back to formula? What if they went back to formula and just perfected it?
And they made it like good and just like a comprehensive test.
And so now, Willem Dafoe is just stronger, but like not evil.
He's stronger. He's not evil, and he still has control of his company, so he doesn't have to kill that man in the wheelchair. He doesn't have to bomb a whole group of people. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Once again, Zane and Casey pulling all the fun and conflict out of these movies.
But what we really did is we flipped the roles, because now we've got this masculine Willem Dafoe on a glider who's got military experience and a high praised intelligence because he's the head of a company, trying to take down a giant spider that's running around the city.
But are people still responding to the spider as they would any other normal person? Because that's what everyone at school is doing. That's what Aunt May and Ben are doing.
I think everybody sees him as a normal teen. Not like they physically see him as a normal teen, but they see him as a giant spider. but they trust him like he's a normal teen. Like, they don't think anything weird of it. And I think Willem Dafoe feels like he has hints of, oh, something's off with this kid, and now I got to get to the bottom of this. So I think Willem Dafoe is the only one that's really looking into it. So if you want, now, from this world that we've created, Willem Dafoe might be considered the good guy, but might be considered the bad guy, depending on where you look at it.
Because he's just trying to kill a normal child. He's
he's
actively egging for this kid who's just like a normal nerd dude.
Everybody thinks that he's trying to kill a normal child. Willem Dafoe thinks he's trying to kill a giant spider. And all these people are just like, hey, you're gonna hurt that kid. And he's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I'm looking at like a 20-foot spider.
And it's because of the formula that's actually been perfected that he can see the spider for what it actually is.
Yeah, he's got grobby groggles.
He's got grobby groggles.
Grobby groggles on.
Looks like we got a title. Thank you.
Yeah, the man in the mask, he's got grobby groggles with his grob vision.
Grob vision.
It's like infrared, except it's definitely green.
It's like that scene at the end of Sicario, when it was just night vision, but it's like green. There it is. Yeah.
Well, it's just definitely green. So it's within green vision through his grabby groggles. He can see the real man that is Petey Parker as the spider.
But is Peter out to do no good, or does he literally just have a spider's mind? So he's just trying to like hunt and like stay alive.
This is the fun part. It depends which Spider-Man film we're talking about, right?
Okay, huge spoiler right now for anyone who's not seen the film Enemy.
Oh. Oh yeah. My god.
My god. I'm sure, just in keeping with the Denis Villeneuve references right now.
Big spoiler on the Jake Gyllenhaal film Enemy. Yes.
Yeah, big spoiler. Is our Peter Parker the giant spider at the end of that film?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes. And that's why Jake Gyllenhaal becomes Mysterio.
Ah! Oh my god, this is such a good
What a good tie-in! Oh
right,
my god! In a world where Peter Parker is a giant-ass spider, Jake Gyllenhaal is a mysterious man who has duplicates of himself and is also a supervillain. One man, Green Grobby, went back to formula and is ready to take all the naysayers to Pound Town.
Oh my god. This got sexy all of a sudden, and I am here for it.
I am sorry, I definitely wrote a National Lampoon movie. It is gonna get sexy.
Wow. Now that's a titillating reference there for National Lampoon. I always thought that Spider-Man would fit much better in the National Lampoon universe than it did in the Marvel Cinematic. So
yeah,
good call there. Yeah,
for real.
All the like gratuitous nudity and the teenage sex and just
that's in Spider-Man. Yeah,
just the really funny stupidity. Love it. Love road trips and etc. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal is officially a part of our universe now. That's exciting as fuck because
it really is.
He's also a traitor to our cause because he's also in the MCU movies, which are fascinating, of course, because I'm very excited to find out how they are making another Spider-Man movie despite him being a pile of fucking ash off in some other planet. And speaking of that other planet, do we get any understanding of why all of our heroes are able to breathe, Earth-like oxygen on that planet without any, like, friggin' help from anything? Does that bother anyone at all?
To be fair, I have not watched trailers for anything. I usually don't watch trailers for bigger movies because they tend to have this little fun perk known as they spoil way too much in trailers.
I'm not even talking about the trailer. I'm talking about Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know how they're on the planet fighting
Thanos. The thing I'm mentioning is at the end of Infinity War, I know I read the comics, but I can't remember. I thought they're inside the stone.
Hey, that's a spoiler right there, everybody.
Right?
Excuse me, Jesus.
Aren't they? Aren't they inside the stone?
Who fucking knows? That's kind of kinky though. If Thanos is like, you know what, I was fighting these dudes, but then I'm gonna just shove them inside of my stone.
I'm gonna take half the world. I'm gonna shove them in my stone, and that'll shut them up. You ever seen Teen Titans?
I have, yeah, the television program.
It's like that. It's
or
like that
DC,
one episode.
What about the hardened DC edgy series called Titans? Anyone? Is that the one where Robin?
I don't care. I don't care what it is.
Please listen to me, you prostitute. Is that the one where Robin is saying "fuck Batman" in the trailer? And I stood up and I applauded. I gave them a standing ovation.
Man,
what an edgy goddamn thing to say.
That wouldn't be Robin then. That would be Nightwing yelling that.
Oh.
He'd be the aggressive. Well, no. Well, that's a hard call because there are so many Robins. You see, I'm a DC boy there. There's Jason Todd, who becomes the Red Hood, who could very easily say fuck Batman. Damian Wayne does not like his father. Could have said fuck Batman.
Why does he not like his father? Can we delve into his daddy issues, please?
Just like any, it's because Bruce Wayne dropped him as a child. It's that simple.
What?
I have no idea.
Never mind about that though. Let's keep talking about.
I was
Robin.
dropped from my phone plan as a child.
Oh my god, your parents are literally abusive.
Yeah, they dropped my phone plan on my head while I was a child. Same side effects.
My god, that's why you're so gosh darn handsome.
That doesn't make sense. The thing that I was bringing up at one point is gone. I don't remember what it was. Essentially, spoilers lurk in every trailer. Oh, just like how before we saw whether or not Tom Holland was going to do well as a Spider-Man, before we even knew that there was going to be a Spider-Man within Civil War, imagine they didn't show Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer, and then you saw the movie, and then he appeared. That would have been phenomenal. That would have been such a good moment, and they killed it because they showed him at the end of a trailer. There's
I know that. Yeah, the trailer where he starts doing the moonwalk, right? Puts the shield on his head.
That's right. You mean the thing that I sent you that's not in the trailer?
Yeah, the obviously fan-made GIF that you sent to me last night at 4 a.m.
On the roost! And then he swings and he gets the shield and then he puts the shield on his head and starts doing Michael Jackson's dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine
fitting.
if he wasn't in that trailer, that would have been amazing. If they could tease like the Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio thing without, I just think superhero trailers, they need to remember, we all know that they're action movies. You don't need to give away the action. Just tease us with the fact that the movie exists.
I mean, you say that, but the Joker trailer was just released.
Again, have not seen that.
That's pretty good trailer. It's Todd Phillips, so I'm sure it's going to be like tonally jarring and I don't know, probably not tremendous, but the trailer was good.
All right.
It shows Joaquin Phoenix being a pretty silly dude.
Question.
Hi.
Right now. Hi. I just want to know from the trailer, since you've seen it.
Yes.
Do you think he will be... I'll start you off easy. Better or worse than Jared Leto's Joker?
I did not spot any damaged tattoos on his forehead, so I'm not sure how to feel about his character yet.
Yes.
I'm going to say, off of that information, he's going to be a little bit worse.
All right, that makes sense.
Because I don't know how to feel about him.
Yeah.
You know, is he damaged
or
is he not?
Was there any scene in the trailer where he was laying on the ground surrounded by a circle of knives?
Ooh.
And did he laugh like this? It really just sounds like someone just took their dentures out, and for some reason the floorboards got creaky while they walked back to bed, and they're just.
I also appreciate. Can we just express how Jared Leto is a visionary?
Yes.
I know. 14 minutes ago, I said literally the opposite, but you don't have a mouth tattooed on your right hand, on the outside of your right hand, and you put it over your mouth, because, mouths, interchangeable. It's kind of like science, whatever. Stick with me here.
Okay,
idiot.
all right.
And then he does that little cackle, creaky cackle, I will call it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of, if Joaquin Phoenix is not gonna really pull all the punches and go really like method with this role, I don't think it's gonna succeed at all. Jared Leto obviously did by sending his castmates a bunch of used condoms.
You're gonna make me cut this out of the podcast again?
What, the used condom thing?
Did it stay in the first episode?
I'm pretty sure it did stay.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to cut other stuff because it was
Okay.
getting like 2 out there.
Well, if
as
it's
opposed to right now.
if it stayed, then it's staying. That's right, folks. Jared Leto sent his cast members use condoms because he's a good sport. Knows how to treat his cast members.
Yeah, remember? Oh wait, yo, do you think that he's gonna be in the new Suicide Squad movie?
Well, that's only if it. Are you talking about? Okay, no, never mind. You said movie.
I'm talking about the Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn.
Yeah. If you said, do you think he'll be in a Suicide Squad? I would say yes, because just because of how bad the backlash was. But in the new film, no.
Okay.
No. Because that was stupid of them to do what they did in that first rendition. Also, for everyone that doesn't know, Suicide Squad, quote unquote, 2 is in the works with James Gunn. Reason I say quote unquote is because they've come out and said it's not a sequel, it's an entire reboot.
It's a soft reboot. I know they got Idris Elba. They were gonna have him do Deadshot. He's actually not gonna be doing Deadshot now, so he's gonna be doing a different character.
He's gonna be doing Viola Davis's character?
Yeah, Viola Davis is back to play Deadshot. Margot Robbie is still gonna not be wearing any pants. So I guess all the disgusting, creepy men out there are gonna really love that.
To be fair, there is no one else that could have played Harley Quinn as well as she did.
No, she was fine. She was fine. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
which is impressive for a film that was what it was.
Can we delve deep into David Ayer's filmography for a moment, please?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with some facts.
Do it.
David Ayer is, believe it or not a good filmmaker.
Okay.
David Ayer directed Suicide Squad.
Yep.
So that was not good.
Funny enough, the film that he directed earlier than that, there is one that I see that I like, and I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what you say. What was End of Watch about?
Oh wait, what are you talking about? Did you like Training Day?
I have not seen Training Day. Did he do Training Day?
So what movie did you like then?
Fury.
Oh, that's the one with the tanks and the tanks that shoot lasers.
Shia LaBeouf. No, what? The tanks that shoot lasers.
Yeah, dude. If you look up a clip of that movie, the bad guy tanks, they shoot like red, like weird lasers. They don't look like tank shells. They look like lasers. It's weird.
I just remember it's great cast. Weirdest thing is, like, I'm obsessed with any Shia LaBeouf movie. It's not Brad Pitt or Logan Lerman that sold me on that film. It is Shia LaBeouf. I'm gonna hold on. Are you telling me that Logan Lerman is not a selling point for you? Shia LaBeouf is the selling point, and then Logan Lerman is just gonna push me above and beyond. I saw Percy Jackson and that lightning thief, the man who stole the lightning.
Percy Jackson and his lightning thief. He is the lightning thief. Percy Jackson is not a selling point for you in major motion motherfucking pictures?
Let me just tell you something about Percy Jackson, the man that...
You tell me something.
There's something about this man, Logan Lerman, Percy Jackson, which really should have been Percy Paxton, just so they could keep the alliteration. Logan Lerman, Percy Paxton, is a lanky boy who is great at what he does, but when you put him up next to Shia LaBeouf will literally take his clothes and make him do a little dance for you. That's what he does.
Explain that a bit deeper for me. What does he do? You say that he takes his clothes.
Yeah.
That's vague. What does he do with his clothes once he's taken them?
He just pops them on the ground right then and there, right in front of him.
He rips them off. Okay,
it's just to shit. Yeah, they're not even tearaway clothes, but he's just that strong. Shia LaBeouf is Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf is similar to the Hulk in that he's really fucking irritating.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah, there you go. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. When he's angry, he does those weird experiments where, like, he watches all of his movies and then sits in a room where everyone can meet him, and he kind of looks like a college art project. It's just weird.
Arguably the worst kind of art project, correct.
Yeah. But yeah, you put him in a tank, and you tell me for some reason that he's going to be kind of calm-minded? That's confusing. I'm interested.
Yeah. I also appreciate that Shia LaBeouf, everyone's favorite American actor, had to go method to play a guy in a tank during World War II.
Yeah.
And didn't bathe for the entirety of filming, and like several cast members had to actually speak to him and say, like, we're in a small confined space, take a fucking bath, you absolute piece of ass.
And then he would throw Bible quotes at them because that's his character. It was quoting the Bible.
It's like, look at Leviticus 14:3.
Look it up. He said, "Thou shalt not bathe while sitting in military equipment."
Everybody tells me that the Bible is not ahead of its time. Fuck that. The Bible is super ahead of its time because it's actually it's actively referencing
modern
tank
day
warfare.
Modern day.
Wild.
And the Bible said Trump will not win his second term.
Oh, that's a dream. That's a dream and a half right there.
Right.
America is not brilliant, and we should probably not delve into politics in our Spider-Man podcast.
Why not? There are politics in Spider-Man. Did you know that J. Jonah Jameson is
handsome? Sir, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he's mayor of New York.
He has a podcast in the video game.
Does he really have a podcast?
Is it a podcast? It's he might just have a radio show. So like rather than, I guess the only way that the video game was able to infuse J. Jonah into it was to have someone voice act as him that sounds almost exactly like my man. What the hell is his name?
JJ the Jet Plane.
JJ the Jet Plane. Yeah, he sounds exactly like JJ. And he just like goes on randomly and starts like yelling about Spider-Man. It's very, very bizarre, but I kind of dig it.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Do you want to talk about this giant human spider that is Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Now in Spider-Man 1, obviously we know Green Grobby's got his grobby goggles on. He's got green vision.
Goggles.
He can see that this is the spider, the situation and whatnot. Probably going to ask his son for assistance. And so they're going to have... It's probably going to become a family of goblins. That's just like their thing.
Groblins.
Yeah. Well, they're all groblins, but they're a family of goblins. It's like the plural is goblins, and then the singular is grobby. Okay. Now, in this situation, they're going to be the superheroes to themselves, but they're still going to be seen as supervillains to the city because I was going to say Tony Parker.
Parker. Son of Peter.
Yes. This Spider-Man, is going to be roaming about the city. Everyone's going to think he's a normal human being, but he's really this giant-ass spider. Oh, my God. With the pincers and his prickly hair and everything.
A lot of hair on that dude's body. Yeah.
Now,
a big bulbous ass, too, by the way.
This is where things get interesting. We go to Spider-Man 2. Doc Ock is going to make his 4 tentacles, and he's going to see Peter has got 8 legs, and he's going to say, I'm jealous. I need to do better. He's going to make 4 more tentacles.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Now he's not just Doc Ock. He's Dr. Octopus. Now he's got 8 extra arms on his back.
In total,
2 microchips, 8 arms.
Is the second microchip also going to break like the first one did?
I think the first one will break, the second one won't. So he can control 4 of the arms and can't control 4 of them.
A few of the arms are just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah,
they're like making breakfast at night, crazy. And but he also has his arms and his legs, right?
Yes. He got human parts.
That's how I did. Rather than saying his human arms and leg, I have to say arm, and leg. I think that makes more sense. Yeah. So what else about Jake Gyllenhaal entering his bedroom and finding a giant, terrifying spider whimpering away from him?
See, this is where it gets very tricky because we want to talk about things entering Peter Parker's house.
Yeah.
At the end of Spider-Man 2, I'm thinking Doc Ock does such a good job impersonating this Spider-Man that the town starts to believe that Doc Ock is Spider-Man.
Whoa,
Thinks
but
that the Spider-Man is this spider.
They're gonna say you have 4 extra arms because you're not Dr. Octopus. You're Dr. friggin' 12. Fucking Dr. 12 arms over here.
Fucking Dr. 10? It'd be 10 arms, right? He's got the 2 arms. 2 human arms.
2 legs.
We're counting them. Dr. 12 arms.
Dr. 12 friggin'
arms.
I was gonna say digits. I was gonna say digits like fingers, but they're a little bit bigger than fingers.
Yeah, Dr. Big Fingers.
Hey, Dr. fucking Big Fingers, hello.
Oh, we got Dr. Big Fingers over here running a fucking city. Where you at? You go back to the ocean, you fucking octopus.
Can you tell I've been to New York once? Good. Oy vey. And it was Brooklyn, mind you.
In this situation, I think Peter gets self-conscious, whether or not it's because Mary Jane thinks that he's not himself anymore, whether it's because Mary Jane knows he's not himself anymore because he's a giant spider.
He's a giant spider, yeah.
He's going to run away, and he's going to try and hide. And where he happens to hide, Jake Gyllenhaal's house. And
okay, so he goes all the way across the pond meaning mainland America, to Los Angeles.
Well, for everyone that hasn't seen Enemy, essentially, Jake Gyllenhaal runs into his doppelganger. It's very, very ahead of its time, Jordan Peele. He runs into his doppelganger.
Yeah,
and...
fuck you, Jordan Peele in particular.
Yeah.
We love your films.
Yeah, it basically, he starts to go crazy because he's like, this person's just like me, they sound just like me, look exactly like me, etc., etc. Long story short, at the end, thinks that he has sorted out how to handle this ordeal. It's an experimental film where he comes to understand himself and picks a side of himself to become. And when he runs into one of his rooms and he's like, honey, I'm going out, do you need anything? He sees little Petey Parker, the Spider Boy, curled up in his corner in the room. He sees this giant spider. And he makes eye contact with him. But the thing is, he sees this spider and he sees that this spider is afraid of him. He's not afraid of the spider. The spider's afraid of him. And in this moment, he knows, well, that's pretty mysterious now, isn't it?
That begs many a question. I think we should have some Canadian director understand this for us. And
now he starts going on this run of, well, that's very mysterious. And he starts going on this run of things that are mysterious to him. So he runs into a velvet buzzsaw, and he runs into various mysterious paintings, and he runs into he runs into a nightcrawler, and he comes across very mysterious news events. He runs into Brokeback Mountain. He runs into a mysterious cowboy encounter.
Are you saying that being a homosexual is just a mystery?
There's nothing wrong with it. But it's a mysterious game to play around that time, as even Heath Ledger's character says, because Heath Ledger is alive in this film. Even Heath Ledger says in the film, like, we get caught doing this, we're dead. And so Jake Gyllenhaal's like, that's mysterious.
I'm gonna stop you for one second.
Yes.
Do you think that Heath Ledger also didn't take the role of Spider-Man because he knew that he would be working very closely with Jake Gyllenhaal later, and he was like, I already have one on the docket. I'm going to be playing Brokeback Mountain with him, so I can't be doing Spider-Man. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. I think I've cracked the code.
The reason that he really couldn't be Spider-Man was because he had already worked with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he doesn't do twice. That man don't do twice.
No, he worked with him in the future, and then now he doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Bleak.
Yeah, but he has good films. Everybody, I love that man so much. Oh, man. Yes, so Jake Gyllenhaal basically does this thing, like, if you took a book and you flipped through the pages, imagine him doing that, but, like, he's running on the pages, and he's running through all of his films, like, in a 30-second montage. And, so he's doing that with all of his films, and now he is going through all these mysteries, and he's filled with so much that they're starting to escape his head, and he's like, oh, I know how I can help this not escape my head, and then he puts a helmet on so that they can't leave his head, or they can't leave his space, and now he looks like this mysterious man, and he's got all of his mysterious thoughts roaming about inside this helmet, and everyone's like, hey, you should take that helmet off, especially like when he's at the airport. You need to take that helmet off because it's just TSA policy. And he says, I can't. There are a lot of mysteries in this helmet. And if
you don't want to expose any of the mysteries.
I can't expose the mysteries. And they say, what's that supposed to mean? And he says, I can't go into further detail because that would be exposing the mysteries. And they say, sir,
literally a mystery. It's in the name. Fucking deal with it.
Take the helmet off. And he says, no. And then apparently, instead of following my Mysterio, which would then be to grow to like 50 feet tall and electrocute everybody, he's got what looks like just like, I don't know, mystical beams. I don't know how else to explain it, right?
Understood.
He's just got mystical beams.
As opposed to the standard beams, these ones are mystical in a certain way.
And the thing is, that was not scripted, that was not CGI, that was Jake Gyllenhaal. And the whole point of everything that I've just said is the fact that it's even a mystery how he got those powers, because that was just Jake Gyllenhaal doing that.
So you're telling me that you could have just said that last sentence there?
Yes.
Rather than saying all those other paragraphs?
I could have said that last sentence there rather than setting us up with the prompt that Spider-Man is now a real spider.
Okay, but but if you had done that, then we wouldn't have had the beautiful images of a giant, terrifying 8-legged monster.
Yeah.
Rummaging through New York City, and people don't bother, asking about it. They're just kind of like, oh yes, okay, that's fine.
We wouldn't have Dr. 12 Arms.
Fucking Dr. 12 Arms over
Dr.
here.
12 Arms up in here, where you walking around on all 12 of your arms thinking you own the place. Can I get a glass of water? You say, yeah, let me give it to you with all 12 of my arms. Fuck you.
He would actually say, I can offer them with about 6 of my arms. I can't really use my feet. The other 4 are kind of just doing whatever the goddamn they want.
I'll have to... It's going to be a 50-50 chance if you get your drink, because half of my arms will gladly oblige. The other half will maniacally try and prevent those arms from giving you the drink.
Just keep slapping them away.
And this is how we make the Doc Ock spin-off of the tragic life of how half of his arms understand him, and half of his arms will never be understood.
That's fucking bleak. That is angsty as hell, and god damn it do I understand that on a level. So I don't mean to completely derail this, but I actually have some cool correspondence from a listener of the show. So
What?
I'd like to put that into this right now.
Do it.
So Mr. Sean R., my buddy.
Shauner
is what I like to call him.
Shauner Connery.
He listened a few episodes back. I can't recall which one it was, but we mentioned how Hugh Jackman was almost in Spider-Man. So I'm just going to read you his whole message right now. He says, well, I did find a link that I felt needed to be dived into. If Hugh Jackman was almost in Spider-Man, that means he could have learned how to use cloning from the Prestige. Are you following? Which is the link that we found.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Vaguely?
Yeah, I remember this.
And then he says, what you didn't know was that because he was nearly in Spider-Man, the cloning process was nearly completed, resulting in Topher Grace in Interstellar.
Oh my god.
That means that he is Tobey's clone. So Topher Grace is in Spider-Man 3. Topher Grace is also in Interstellar.
Okay.
So that also means that Tobey Maguire was in Interstellar.
Okay.
And Topher Grace is Tobey's clone. Hello.
Okay. So...
Is it a lot? I'm sorry.
No, that's beautiful. That just means that this man has seen what the world will look like when it ends. And this man has seen the new world. And that means that Tobey is a more mighty being than anybody ever imagined.
We knew that. We just didn't have the balls to say it. And
yeah.
Sean has the balls, okay?
Thank you for your balls, Sean.
Thank you for your balls, Sean. I think I also have another bit of correspondence.
Please.
From my buddy James. He actually just got married today. Love you to death, bud. He said last Wednesday that he was a bit disappointed in one of our episodes because we mentioned that Gambit taught Brucey, I don't remember who he's referring to, but Gambit taught him the Heart of the Cards, and we never talked about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Because it wasn't time to duel.
Yeah. I'm assuming that he's referring to Gambit talking to Bruce Wayne? No, not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Banner?
The Hulk?
Did we talk about the Hulk?
What are you talking about?
I don't know, dude. We need some friggin' people to make like a friggin' wiki for us so we can...
We said Gambit was talking to Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell! Okay, not Bruce Banner. The cooler Bruce. Understood. Okay, so Gambit teaching Bruce Campbell the heart of the cards.
Yeah.
We should have mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! Our bad. We'll come back next week.
It would be
with some sweet Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit.
It would be a Deus Ex Machina thing to give Bruce Campbell a Blue Eyes White Dragon, because then he would just be impossible to beat, and then he would be too good a Bruce Campbell.
I mean, last we saw Bruce Campbell, you and I, he was taught
basically
French from Amelie.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna get into that again because I cried last. Please do not. I do not want to cry again on microphone. But I don't know. I feel like if he can be taught by Amelie, he can also have the Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's it. End of story.
That's
Done.
fair. That was a good wrap up there.
Well, I guess that'll just about do it. So thanks, Sean, and thanks, James, for being some cutie boys and listening to our delightful show and offering some thoughtful insight.
Thanks.
Hey, keep it up. You know, if you see us slacking anymore, like we clearly are doing, by I don't know if we talked about Spider-Man very much at all in this episode. We just kind of talked about tangential characters that we created.
I promise I thought about him while this episode was going on.
Literally only think about him. I'm staring at my poster of Tobey Maguire in Cider House Rules right now, and it is a damp experience. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night here, or a day. Hell, even an afternoon. I don't know. When are you listening? Have a blessed rest of your life. Okay, bye. I got to go.